Hello and good evening again. Welcome to Motorenhalle. This is Denise Ackermann. I'm Till Ansgar Baumhauer.
Yeah, and we are tonight the last time for disCONNECTED in front of the camera, in the internet for the preview of disCONNECTED, your project here in Motorenhalle, right?
Exactly. We still have 4 artists to introduce to you and 1 chapter of the exhibition, and we are already quite frightened, happy, everything, because after 2 weeks from now the exhibition is starting.
Yeah, and the poster is done already, so take care if you are looking, if you are in Dresden living, you can look maybe on the street.
Exactly. Feel welcome to be here after 2 weeks from now. Yes, and so let's return to the last topic of the exhibition, disCONNECTED, which is dealing in general with images and identities transgressing borders. And the last issue of tonight is the view towards the foreign and the construction of difference. And we will discuss that with, in total, 4 artistic positions, 2 from Germany, 1 from France, and 1 from South America.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have a connection to 3 of the artists, and 1 position is just behind us.
Exactly.
And maybe Till, you want to introduce us the lady behind and maybe also the lady who made it.
I will. Thank you so much. Yes, we planned to talk to Heike Lydia Grüß, who is the artist who did the wonderful drawing behind us, but she has to be absent tonight because she doesn't feel very well, so she excused herself. And we are disCONNECTED again, this time in another way. But
all the best for Heike.
Yes, good luck, and be totally healthy again as soon as possible. We hope to see you here. But to talk about her work, this is one drawing from a quite extended series of graphic works she did and she still does. And Heike's approach towards imagery is on one side ethnological, on one side also feminist, because she deals with a, let's call it, classical white male gaze towards foreign cultures, foreign people, foreign women in that case as well. And she has a strong background of research on early ethnological photography in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, with a focus on German photographers, especially one scientist, ethnologist called Reitzenstein, whose archive she has been working on for quite a long time. And she uses those photographs, but she reacts to them in the same time, because she says that she wants to refuse the white male gaze towards those indigenous women, or also women from other parts of the world, but it's mostly quite voyeuristic, quite sexualized, and so she thought about how to deal with that fact, that gaze, and how to refuse in the role of a creative who reacts for those women towards that gaze. And so she started to work in a series with women's portraits which are hidden, deleted. So the most interesting parts, at least in the viewpoint of the white ethnologist, the faces and the breasts and the more sexualized parts of the body are hidden in her work, are deleted, are blackened, or at least taken out of the control of the viewer. And that's for her a way to restore the dignity of those women and to give them back their mystery and their personality, which cannot be, of course, explored by the photographs, but which seems to be given to every viewer who approaches them with sexualized curiosity somehow. Also in the comments in the books that were published with the photographs of Reitzenstein, but the textual level, of course, is not dealt with in those works.
So do you know a little bit more how much she's, because the topic, the discourse about this is very popular at the moment, do you know that she is also exhibited in this context, so maybe that with this archive, so that her works is in a comment, or that, do you know something in this case?
Well, I know that she has a quite classical approach towards exhibiting her work. So there was an exhibition of a two big series of those works in Erfurt some years ago, which are more the type of classical graphics drawing exhibition. But I took some of her works with me 4 years ago when I made an exhibition in South America, and I confronted her drawings and some photographs which were the blueprints for her drawings with a collection of early missionary ethnological photographs from Ecuador, in which you get the feeling about the indigenous people being part of a baptism, of a Christian burial, etc., and not really knowing what happens to them. Also those tensions of power between the missionary and the indigenous people. And
what was the reaction from the audience?
I think they understood very well what happened, and they also understood very well what Heike did in her works, and I combined it with another level of an early discoverers report, a guy from Switzerland who went to South America in 1570 around, and who wrote a report about the difficulties to be in dialogue with the indigenous people, and how gestures and imitating gestures can bring you together beyond language. So that was another level.
Okay, so we are also very happy to see her work, probably also her personality
Exactly.
soon.
We will have 5 to 7 newer works of her as a big installation, and we are really curious and proud and happy.
Yeah, okay. So because we have a full program.
Exactly.
So let's go to the next artist. We hopefully have them online connected with us.
Exactly. We will make a double Skype now, 2 artists after each other, because they, on one side, they refer to each other from the context, but they also refer to Heike's position. First, we will talk to Jan Brockhoff from Berlin, who is a friend of both of us. Luckily, we were able to know his works already some years ago. And after that, we will talk to Valmor Correa in Brazil. Hopefully, the connection will be stable. And I will do my best to translate Spanish into English and to ask my questions in Spanish, but please forgive me for the really poor quality of my Spanish. At least hopefully it will be enough to not to delete the content of his answers and of my questions.
And otherwise, people can write comments and correct you. You're very welcome to do this.
Exactly. So I'm not really looking forward to the comments on this YouTube video, but I will stand seeing that almost everyone is better in Spanish than me. Okay.
Just polite.
Yeah. So,
just for the content.
So let's start with Jan Brockhoff and call him.
Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Hi Jan, nice to see you.
Yeah, greetings from Dresden to Berlin. The distance is not so far, but great to have you here now. Okay, Jan, we invited you to be part of the exhibition because you have been working on the question how foreignness is seen culturally. You have been working on that for quite a long time with a focus on South America. Maybe just explain to us what your approach is to the topic.
It started really with a woodcut. It's really funny. So I had a theater project in Brazil, and it was about Macunaíma from Andrade and Fatza from Brecht. And I found the material of Hans Staden, and Hans Staden was a German guy that in the 15th century that goes to Brazil and get captured by the Indigenes, by the Tupi-Nambas, and they want to eat him. And he made a book with 60 woodcuts. And I got completely crazy of his woodcuts, of course. And that was really the beginning. So really, not really the theme, more the idea, wow, woodcuts with cannibal pictures. I never saw this before. It was absolutely not my track. And when it is 10 years ago. And when I started to think about this theme and work with it more and more. And yeah, that was really the beginning. And yeah, the most important text, I think, is the text from Oswald de Andrade, the Anthropophagic Manifest. It's from the 1920s. And yeah, this is a text, I think it's, especially for artists, it's a really, really nice material to work with it, because it switched your point of view, because it's really from a different side. So it is really and it's really complicated to get inside this kind of ideas, because we are so Eurocentristic, and this is maybe I must explain a little bit. He said, okay, the cannibalistic idea is let's eat the other, and that we have this is our own culture. In the really, really simple and really in a poetic way, he writes about this, and so it touched me more by heart than by brain in the first moment. And yeah, I think this was a little bit the starting point of this. It's really short to talk about it, I think.
So, as far as I understand, there are two aspects coming together. One is that if the European talks about cannibalism in South America, there's a lot of afraidness and frightening towards the foreign in it. So it's a construction.
Absolutely not understandable.
Yeah, right. It's a construction of the enemy in general, so to say.
No,
and on the other side,
of a stranger. I think it was every time the description of a stranger. And I like the anthropophagic word more than the cannibalistic word, because it was mentioned earlier by the Greeks. And the cannibal name, it was just Columbus who brought this idea inside of cannibalism. It's much more well known, but the main idea is the anthropophagy. And this is open it much more for all the humans, and not only for a special description of from a part of the world. This is, yeah.
So you could say that the term cannibal is more the hate speech level, so to say, and the anthropophagic would be the scientific or humanist discourse on the topic. And I think in your work you mix those two levels with each other, right? We invited you to be part of the show with some collages, and it's quite interesting to talk about the material which you use.
And actually, you are as well a very good printer. The topic catch you by the material. You are very familiar, but you turn it in a completely other technique as well.
How I start. This is now first. Interesting thing on the anthropophagy is that it is a word. It is good and bad at the same time in one. So you don't have you can't separate this. It's completely ambivalent in itself, and this makes it so so you can put all the hate inside, but also a lot of love, or so it is, and this idea. So we don't talk, of course, not about real cannibalism. We talk about the philosophic aspect of this idea. And in these collages, I use human material from fashion journals, and I create a kind of humans. It's not the right word, but of morph bodies, or more that you related to humans, but these are not humans anymore. So it's more the meat or flesh idea of humans, and this is really I think a lot of people hates this, because it comes so close to you when you see this, and you find it really ugly. But on the other hand, there's nothing really ugly or explicit inside. So it is just in your brain that makes it explicit. And this is the game that I'm playing a little bit with the collages. And I think that's it mostly.
So just to say it in a little bit ironical way, you're somehow the hybrid of the creator, the Frankenstein model, and the butcher in the same time.
Yes. It has something to do with it, for sure. And of course the idea to use material from other people that is normally in the collage, it fits completely. So the whole anthropophagic manifest, it's like a Gebrauchsanweisung for the collage, and this is also such a nice coincidence that I found. And
great, so wow, I think we could talk 30 more minutes about that. But we will do that in real life when you are here for the opening of the show. And now we just say thanks a lot and see you soon, talk soon, and all the best for you, Jan.
Yeah, and we are switching now to Brazil.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
so
Okay.
see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
Ciao.
See you. Ok, hola, querido Valmor. Saludos de Alemania en Brasil.
Saludos.
Y gracias por la posibilidad de discutir un poco con nosotros.
Un placer.
So welcome, Valmor, and greetings from Germany to Brazil, and thank you so much for having time to discuss a little bit with us.
Sorry about my Deutsch and my no Deutsch. My English is very Jane and Tarzan, do you know?
Okay.
Terrible. I speak in Spanish because it's more comfortable for me in this moment. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. So your English is like my Spanish.
Yes. No. Your Spanish is very well. Yeah.
Gracias. Okay. Hacemos hablado un poco sobre tus obras antes de la discusión ahora. Y bien, vamos a tener aquí tres obras tuyas con dibujos, digamos, biológicos. No conozco la palabra española. ¿Puedes tú contar un poco sobre el
proceso?
El tema y el proceso, sí. So
sí,
just
claro.
to say it in English, we already talked a little bit about your work, and you are working with scientific drawings, and so we would like to know something about the background and the process.
Primeira pergunta. As três obras que vão participar da exposição, excuse me, las tres obras que están en la exposición son La Serena, ¿sí? ¿Cuál las otras?
El hombre con la cabeza de
Tamanduá.
Sí.
Tamanduá, sí. Capelobo. Y el otro.
El tercero es, ayúdame, una híbrida entre hombre y... sí, un animal.
Perro.
No, el perro es como un animal que puede nadar, pero no es
Pupiara.
Sí,
Pupiara.
exactamente.
Pupiara es un hombre pez. Like the mermaid. It's a mermaid man. Okay.
Exactly. So just to translate it, we will show three works, one with a mermaid, one with a hybrid of a man and...
Tamanduá.
Tamanduá, exactly. And the third is, so to say, a male mermaid hybrid somehow. So, yes, just tell us something about your process and your ideas about the topic.
Una otra cosa, Til, que si quieres y si te parece importante, podremos hacer también que tú estás grabando mi explanación sobre el tema del trabajo, que estará en mi participación ahí. Y así que si te parece bien, me lo puedes enviar un archivo con las conversas en portugués y acá lo hago el traslado para inglés.
Muy bien, lo hacemos así.
Me parece un poco mejor
Ok,
para no tener ningún tipo de duda.
claro, claro.
¿Está bien?
Está bien, sí, muy bien, gracias.
Ujú.
Ok, entonces para los visitadores, ¿cómo es la historia de tu trabajo sobre esas híbridas entre animal y hombre? So
Perfecto.
how is the background of your work with those human-animal hybrids?
Mi trabajo siempre tuve una mirada para el tema del arte es ciencia, ¿sí? Por eso utilizo la ciencia para explanar sobre el tema del hibridismo, que es muy conocido en la Amazonia brasileña, ¿sí? Pasa que ese trabajo tiene casi 20 años, de hecho, mira vos.
Okay. Voy a hacer una pequeña traducción. Walmart is really interested in the connection between sciences and artistic practice, and he has been working for 20 years on this topic of hybrids between man and animal, with a viewpoint on scientific aesthetics. ¿Correcto?
Correcto.
Ok, gracias.
Sí, sí, sí. Y pasa que mi trabajo también tuve una grande influencia sobre la mirada del extranjero sobre mi país. ¿Por qué? Porque el Brasil fue un nuevo país para la Europa vieja. Y ¿comprendiste?
Fue un poco difícil porque falta el sueño, el son.
No problema,
¿Puedes,
no hay problema. No problema,
otra
no
vez?
problema. En Brasil, una de las cosas de la historia de mi país, desde el descubrimiento por los europeos de la América, venían los europeos a buscar un nuevo mundo, una nueva esperanza, porque así que los extranjeros llegaban en mi país con la idea, el pensamiento de que todo aquí sería distinto. Así que siempre me interesó la mirada y los apuntamientos de los viajeros extranjeros que venían para mi país a buscar cosas nuevas.
Ok, voy a traducir.
Traducir.
Okay. He has been working on this issue that involves also the view of the foreigner towards the new world to be discovered, going back to the times of the Conquista, in fact, of late 15th, early 16th and 17th century. And these hybrids between human and animal also refer to the efforts of the discoverer to understand what he sees, and Valmore refers to the notes and the texts and drawings of the discoverers as well.
Pero las observaciones de los extranjeros generalmente estaban disconnected to reality.
Okay.
Así que empecé hace muchos años, cuando empecé a hacer la Universidad de Arquitectura, empecé a interesarme por los viajeros extranjeros en mi país. ¿Crees?
So he started to be interested in the travelers in his country already during his studies of architecture. And those viewpoints of the travelers and discoverers were quite often disconnected from reality in the way that they misinterpreted what they saw. Pero creo que hay también un punto muy interesante per me, perché tu creas una conexión entre esas cuentas históricas y una realidad social contemporánea. Eso per me hace tus obras así importantes. Okay, so you make a connection between historical objects and artifacts and the social reality today, and that is what I find really important about your work as well. So please say something about that.
Okay. Y entonces, para mí, lo que más me interesó, que más me despertó la atención sobre los apuntamientos en Brasil, fuera un cura muy importante de España y Portugal, que llama Padre José de Anchieta. Ellos veio para Brasil en más o menos 1500 y poco, y 40, 60, 50, al principio del desarrollamiento de Brasil. ¿Sí? Este cura era una persona muy inteligente y llegó al Brasil con la idea, pienso yo, ese es mi pensamiento, el cura llega de Europa en Brasil hace 500 años atrás y llega acá con la idea de que los animales que existen en el planeta, el universo, son los que están en la Biblia. Aquellos que se encontraban en la arca de Noé. Así que este cura, al llegar en Brasil, se da cuenta que existe una infinidad absurda de animales que no están en la arca de Noé. Como por ejemplo el tamanduá.
Okay, so there is a link to a Spanish monk, I suppose, who went to South America in the 16th century with the idea that every animal existing on the planet was a follower of the animals in the Ark of Noah. And when he came to Brazil, he saw so many animals which were totally beyond his imagination that he thought that those animals should not have been in the Ark, but somehow outside, correct?
Correcto,
Okay.
exacto. Y al me interesar por este importante viajero, busqué los relatos que ello lo hizo en Brasil en 1550-60 para enviarlo a compañía dos jesuitas, dos curas católicos en Europa. Y ello apuntó muchísimas cosas y a mí me interesaba leer para buscar dónde está la comilla, la desconexión entre la realidad que vivo yo en mi país y la realidad de un extranjero que todavía no vivía acá y tenía muchas ilusiones sobre el nuevo planeta, el nuevo mundo.
Okay, so this Jesuit father sent his texts and reports back to Europe to inform his Jesuit colleagues about his discoveries in the New World. And while more focused, when reading these reports, he focused on the breaking point between the reality also Valmor lives in today in Brazil and the point where all the projections and fictions started, which were highly influencing in Europe later.
Exactly. Pero en una carta, una descripción, el cura hace mención, describe la existencia en Brasil de un animal llamado curupira. Y describe también la existencia de otro animal que se llama ipupiara. Y el cura describe que dando informaciones de cómo era la acción de esos animales no Brasil. Esto en 1560. Yo, en el año 2000, fui para Amazonia, en Brasil, el lado brasileño, para estudiar lo que venía por la frente. Necesitaba estar inmerso en la Amazonia, pero sin un objetivo exactamente, sino de un brasileño haciendo el papel de lo investigador, pero con las informaciones de alguien que nació y vive en este país. ¿Quieres traducir?
Okay, claro. So Valmor went to the Amazonia's forest 20 years ago, and he tried to compare, to bring together the existing animals with especially two fictions from the reports of this early traveler from the 1570s about hybrids between man and animal. So to connect the story, the report, and the existing reality.
Exacto.
Okay. Solo una cosa, con ¿cómo se dice? Tenemos pocos minutos solo ahora
Sí.
porque una otra artista va a hablar con nosotros.
Rápidamente. Sí, no hay problema. Así que al llegar en la Amazonia, las personas que viven en la región más acerca del río, no en la capital, pero la mayoría de personas que viven ahí, hablaban de esos seres con mucha naturalidad. Entonces, a mí me pareció muy interesante estar 500 años después allí y las personas todavía siguen acreditando en esos mitos. Ahí que fiz, yo fui en barco, un barco a mano, buscando por el río personas que tenían mirado esos mitos. Hasta que encontré un indio de una tribu que me relató que tuve enamorado de una mermaid, de una sirena. Y yo le pregunté cómo era esta mujer pez. Y él empezó a describirme con mucha naturalidad. Por ejemplo, que ella a la tarde lo ayudaba a pescar para comer y por la noche iba al dentro del río y desaparecía. En este momento yo empecé, ¿cómo será posible una sirena vivir adentro del río y afuera? ¿Cuáles dispositivos físicos, anatómicos tendría que tener para ser realidad? Entonces, la historia y la ciencia se pusieron juntas. Y yo pensé, la ciencia nunca atestó la existencia de esos mitos. Debo hacerlo como un artista, pero empecé a buscar informaciones con biólogos, veterinarios y doctores especialistas para hacer el corazón ser posible. Por ejemplo, el corazón de una mujer pez, ¿por qué no explode? Porque si miras la mía obra, está un corazón con 3 cavidades, no con 4. Todo hay una explicación científica.
Okay, so Walmart tried to find, he noticed that people were still talking about these myths, about these human animals, and he tried to find people that had already seen them, until he talked to a fisherman who said, yeah, he was in love with a siren before, and he tried to describe her and he tried to talk about her in a very precise way, so that Walmart decided to make an anatomical drawing, a scientific drawing that allowed to explain, for example, why a lady who lives like a fish in the water can also exist outside, which needs a special type of heart, for example, so that the aspects of his scientific drawings refer to possibilities of biological construction that would be needed for such a creature to live.
Exacto.
Okay, creo que podríamos hablar para 2 más horas porque ahora es tan fascinante que no quiero finir, pero el tiempo es desafortunadamente demasiado corto. Entonces, Valmor, espero que vamos a tener otras posibilidades para aprofundir el discurso, y muchas gracias por tu tiempo. So,
gracias a ustedes.
Unfortunately, we have to finish now, and I think we are just at the starting point for a really profound discussion. So I hope that we will be able to continue. Thank you so much. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. Tschüss.
Tschüss. Tschüss. Hasta luego.
Okay, again, some very interesting input and previews to our artist, or to the artist position we had now, and the last Skype interview in our series of online shows will be
Malala Andrea Lavidrazana, who is an amazing artist originally from Madagascar, who lives in Paris right now, and she developed a very special viewpoint towards our topic, the view towards the foreign. And for me, it took quite a long time for me to decide which work we would ask her to show.
We both discuss it.
Yeah, exactly. And well, finally, the fact about the technical difficulties was also one of the decision moments for me and for us. But you will agree with us that it's a fantastic work that we will have here.
And first, we go on the Skype with her.
Exactly,
and hear
with a
something.
call to Paris.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
hello to Paris now.
Yeah, greetings from Dresden to Malala. Hello.
Hello, Dresden.
And also the world.
How are you?
Fine so far. We are just really into the exhibition again with our last video, and yeah, we are looking so much forward to what will happen after some time from now. That we are really happy.
Yeah, and to have the exhibition at least it's
Exactly,
real, and
yes.
also your work arrived. Actually, it's in my office. So now we would like to hear a little bit more about your work. And I found out on your website for sure that you are traveling a lot around the Indian Sea, I guess, to different countries. And I find it in a way very interesting because you make some photo documentation, but the work which we will show are like geographic maps, and also combined with a special type of photos or images. So, and is there a link from your training and your first works where you do a lot of photo documentation to these works which we will show of the maps on the way?
Oh,
Because you were traveling, and then I had an idea. Okay, traveling.
Most difficult questions always in the beginning.
well, I think that this work is part of a series, which is the figure series, and I can say that in some ways it's a travel in time and history. And I don't know what text did you read exactly, because I didn't only travel in the Indian Ocean. I mean, I was born in the Indian Ocean, for instance, in Madagascar, but I traveled in different parts of the world, and I am not really. Sorry. Oops.
Now you're off. We can't see you anymore.
I need to. I can hear you, but I
think you have to
switch
on the camera again. Yes,
okay.
You're back.
Yeah. So, no, because I had an alarm for something, and I didn't take it out. The fact that very often the fact that someone is born in a certain part of the world tends to create a stereotype. I think that you both know that I'm based in Paris. I live in Paris, and I try to. Well, I mean, I had many residencies in northern countries in Asia, and so I quite don't understand what was the question about the Indian Ocean.
Maybe I think Denise referred to Southeast Asia, to those Cambodia works that you did. The Khmer Rouge works, because in those you bring together photography, how can you say you photographed artifacts referring to history, to early history, to recent history in the Khmer Rouge time, and also you combined them with portrait photographs of people, mostly portraits.
That project was a triptych, and you're absolutely right. There was the very big history and the recent time, as you said, and then the contemporary world, the contemporary society as well. So the figure series is exactly the same kind of looking back at history at different levels, different timings, but it's all connected to the contemporary time. To recent events and to the present.
I think it's all about the construction of identity, also the construction of memory, collective memory, and the idea of identity referring to the country, for example, where you live or where you have been brought up. And these countries, of course, are also constructions.
Well, for me, the reference to my roots is important as values, but as you said, it's a collective history. So this is my point. To make it really, global. We are in globalized world. The way I look at the world is more collective than individualist. I'm not interested into the very individualist as well as a way of you cannot share if see what I mean.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, we will show one printed work of yours and also a series of projections. You allowed us to show the other works as a projection because the space is not big enough to show all the series. And well, I saw your works first in Karachi at the Biennale 3 years ago, and I was really fascinated because you're working with historical maps from different contexts, and you add other material which is also historical material, so that on the first view it seems to be something historical in itself. And only after having a closer look you discover that the meanings of the parts and objects are changed by the new, let's call it maybe digital collage tool that you use, so that you create a comment on every part of the whole, I think. And what I wondered was, how does it feel to work with all this historical material, which is, of course, which comes from discoverers, Western white male viewpoint, and which is in itself a claim of dominance somehow. For me, it's something
I
like
play the same game as this male, so I'm really having a lot of fun. When girls do boys game, it's really fun,
Oh, that's great! Yeah.
Well, I'm not pretending I'm a boy. I just changed a little bit the rule to make it more not feminine, but to put it in a more balance. That's it. And I think that that the game is worth it.
Definitely, our visitors will absolutely agree with you and with us all that the outcome is amazing.
Well, actually, I can precise that the print that will be part of the exhibition has two main figures at the center, which are Neptune and Tamerlano.
Yes.
So Neptune is a figure that I see as a very adventurer at his time. I mean, it's a myth, but Neptune used to, he was the god of the sea. And he used the sea as like a free motorway, because nowadays we only have motorway that are not free to use to circulate. So I kind of look at Neptune as a model for free adventure, in the sense of having liberty, go to meet the unknown, the over. Well, it's of course it's a northern myth, but I think that all the of course, in the myth they were also part of bad adventure. Such a god always go into wars, and there are of course some people who used to be killed from these wars, and then Tamerlan is totally another point, because he really exists, but he. I think I have to. I had said this over alarm. Can you hear it?
No, it doesn't arrive here.
Okay. Sorry, I'm back.
No. Perfect.
Okay, so Tamerlan is totally different, because he was a conqueror with an army, and he eventually he really meant to kill the people, to extend his territory, and all this. The two of them, both of them, are also in this composition to remind us that migration, circulation are actions that people used to have from from ever, and we all media tend to look at migration in a very biased way, because migration is action that would be only qualified for the southern population, but actually businessmen from the north who go set up factories in the southern world are also migrants. And but whatever, the fact is that we all circulate. Of course, why it's a kind of bizarre, because the title of the exhibition is of course disconnected, but in some way we are all connected.
The title is both.
Definitely, we wanted to have the ambiguity between the dis and the connected, because it doesn't exist without the other part. Neither connectedness exists without the other, nor the disconnectedness exists without a former connection, or however. And we in fact, we don't want to separate with the exhibition project. We have the idea to bring those aspects together, to create, to show images that cross borders and get reinterpreted and bring us together more than they separate. That sounds a little bit superficial, maybe, if you bring it into only 4 sentences. But that's, I totally agree with you that these things should be connectors over times and over cultures, and allow us to have a different view towards things that are happening today when we refer to our cultural history, and on the other side, of course, also to get a differentiated view towards our history when we approach it from what is happening today. And that's why I'm so happy that you will join us in the exhibition with your work, because it brings in exactly this bridge that is so important today also.
Well, actually, there is no any specific culture in this world, because circulating is just human way of breathing, moving. I mean, it's not a point of northern or southern or Asian, European, African, or whatever. When you every kids need to be able to walk and move and meet others. I mean, that's why I think we came on Earth, and the day you cannot breathe and move at all, then you die.
Very good sentence.
Great, yeah. Maybe as a final sentence as well, because time is running, and we also don't want to keep you away from the duties that are waiting for you in Paris.
Okay.
So thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we still really hope that it will be possible to have you here in person for the opening. Nobody knows what will happen during the next weeks with COVID-19, etc. So we don't force you to say yes right now.
Well, the thing is that we, the pandemic is kind of like going up again.
Yeah.
And the French government has specific rules for each region, and so I really don't know, because Paris is like an not bloody red, but almost bloody red or something like that.
Okay. So
well, it's not pink, it's not green, and it's not pink. It's it's kind of red that need to be to be in alert, and a lot of care and attention, and etc., etc. So I don't know if we are if the German country would allow us to enter in to pass through borders. I think that is the point.
Yeah. We can just hope that it works fine, and we just hope to have you here, as I said. But however, we will keep in touch. We will have your artwork here, and we will continue our discussion.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
J'espère.
Thank
À
you.
bientôt.
Thank
À
you.
bientôt.
À bientôt.
Bonne soirée.
Yeah, bonne soirée. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
The last one.
Yeah, incredibly, you shared a lot of time with us, watching our videos, and now we are almost at the end of the last video.
Till how you are feeling, because it's the last show now.
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to see the works here in the exhibition and to talk to the artists, because up to now it was just a hybrid to bridge the time gap between the originally planned exhibition opening in April and now in October. But I have to admit, when you brought up the idea of the videos, I was not totally convinced about it, and now I almost think, wow, I will be missing that.
Yeah, it was like a good thing what we have done all the time, because although we see each other, and honestly we have a third person all the time with us, and even you can't see him now, but a very, very big thanks to Christian Rich, who is was very, very helpful.
And almost always professional.
Yes, yeah, very professional, and he held his nerves with us. And actually, it was a quite new experience. We did it for the first time because of Corona, and we make this experiment maybe with some mistakes, but we tried it. So to find another way, and hopefully we don't have to do it again. But if we are prepared now, so
exactly. So I think there are lots of questions open still. We try to explain some of the aspects of the exhibition to you. I hope that you are curious, and I hope that we didn't explain too much. And we are really looking forward to having you here in the exhibition. Hopefully you will be able to come here to join us either for the opening or for one of the guided tours in the exhibition, or for one of the amazing side events that we already planned as well.
You can find everything on our website for sure, and some of the artists will come, and we find a way for those which can't travel to have them also with us for the opening. So we try our best with all the digital world and possibilities to be connected as much as we can. So see you soon.
Thanks
really
a
connected, online connected, and please not disconnected.
Good
Ciao.
luck to you all. Bye.